This presentation will show how to complete the monthly budget form. Once again on your screen, you see the form that needs to be completed. As with prior presentations, there are data schedules available to download. At the risk of repeating myself, I would highly suggest you download and print the data schedules to make it easier to follow what's being done. The form on your screen is set up in a slightly different manner than prior forms. Since this form is wide and tall, to fit it all on the screen would make it so small that you would not be able to see the data being entered. To deal with this, the left-hand column and the top rows down through the category line have been locked. This means that as we scroll across the screen or down the screen, that column and those rows will not disappear from the screen. This will help us to place numbers in the correct boxes on the form. Starting at the top of the form, the budgeted amounts need to be entered in each column from the monthly estimated budget worksheet. You'll notice when we get there that the numbers on the monthly estimated budget worksheet match the new budget column from the budget analysis worksheet completed in a prior assignment. By clicking the tab labeled Monthly Estimated Budget, we find that the gross income per month is $2,003. As in prior forms, we're not going to worry about pennies in the budget. It's actually your option whether you want to worry about pennies in the rest of the form. Clicking back to the blank monthly budget form, we enter the $2,003 in the box directly under the word Income. The next box over is Tithe Giving, and the number for that is again on the Monthly Estimated Budget tab, which we'll now click on. It's $140, which we enter into the box under Tithe Giving by clicking on the blank Monthly Form tab. The next box over can be used or not used. It depends greatly on how the income is earned. For most people with paychecks and taxes withheld from those paychecks, the best way to handle this entire column is to net the tax withholding right out of the income. To do so, we first click to the Monthly Estimated Budget tab and see that the tax is $421. Click back to the monthly budget form and subtract the $421 from the $2,003 using a formula. That will leave $1,582 in the income box. Back over to the taxes column, you should identify that the taxes were netted out of the income. I would put netted out of income in the boxes there. Clicking back to the monthly estimated budget, we see housing at $485 and food at $130. Click back to the blank monthly budget form and enter $485 under housing and $130 under food. Clicking back to the monthly estimated budget, we see automobile at $316 and insurance at $30. Click back to the blank monthly budget form and enter $316 under auto and $30 under insure. Before we click back to the monthly estimated budget, we'll need to scroll down the worksheet to the right so that we can see the next 6 columns. Now we can click back to the monthly estimated budget and we see debt at $70 and jumping to the top of the page, entertainment and recreation at $120. Click back to the monthly budget form and enter $70 under debt and $120 under entertainment and recreation. Next on the monthly estimated budget is clothing of $48 and savings of $50. Click back to the blank monthly budget form and enter $48 under clothing and $50 under savings. Finally, on the monthly estimated budget, we see medical at $48, miscellaneous at $85, and investment at $60. Clicking back to the blank form, we enter the $48 under medical, the $85 under miscellaneous, and the $60 under investments. There is no budget for school child care. You can now set the monthly estimated budget aside. We won't be needing it anymore in this exercise. Now we start to record the actual income and spending for the month of February. By clicking over to the February transaction list, we see the first entry is salary net of withheld taxes and is on February 1st. The amount is $790. So let's click back to the blank form and enter that. On the blank form, we need to scroll back to the income column, and on the line indicating the first of the month, the $790 is entered under income. As we discussed earlier, the taxes are netted out of the income, so we put netted out of income in the taxes column. One thing to be careful of is that if you net the taxes out of the income on the budget line, you need to do the same with the actual entries. Click back to the February transaction list and see that on the 1st, there was also $15 taken out of the paycheck for insurance and $30 taken out of the paycheck for Joe's 401k. Please note that Joe's net paycheck is actually $745. But in order to record the insurance and the 401k, it's being grossed up and entered in 3 separate pieces. So we click back to the blank form and we enter again on the line for the first a minus 15 under insurance and a minus 30 under investments. That completely records the paycheck. The reason that expenses are recorded as a minus is that they are money going out. There is an option to not record insurance or investments and net them out of the paycheck too, but it's usually better to keep visibility on items other than tax withholding. Click back to the February transaction list, and the next 2 entries on February 2nd are $70 for giving and $350 for rent. Click back to the blank form and enter on the line for the second a minus 70 under tithe giving and a minus 350 under housing. The next 2 transactions on the February transaction list are $31.05 for groceries and $12 for gifts. These are on the 3rd and the 6th, respectively. Click back to the blank form and enter a minus 31.05 under food on the line for the 3rd and a minus 12 under miscellaneous on the line for the 6th. The next 2 transactions on the February transaction list are $34.25 for automobile maintenance and $15.25 for eating out. These were spent on the 9th and 10th. Back on the blank form, a minus 34.25 is entered under auto on the line for the 9th, and the minus 15.25 is entered on the line for the 10th under entertainment and recreation. I'm sure you've noticed that the subtotal lines are filling in as spending is being recorded. Formulas are in each of these boxes that sum the numbers in their respective columns for the first 15 days of the month. Back to the February transaction list. The next transactions are a Visa card payment on the 10th for $35 and a purchase of groceries on the 11th for $28.75. Click back to the blank form and minus 35 is entered on the line for the 10th in the debt column. Then a minus 28.75 is entered under food on the line for the 11th. Back on the transaction list, the last transactions for February in the first part of the month are $61 for gas and electric and $24.35 for dining out, both on the 13th. On the blank form, on the line for the 13th, minus 61 goes under housing, and minus 24.35 goes under entertainment and recreation. At this point, the first half of the month has been entered, and we'll scroll down so that we can see the second half of the month and all the total lines. On the 15th or 16th or somewhere in the middle of the month, this subtotal is here so that you can take some time and see how you're doing at the midpoint of the month. In clicking back to the February transaction list, we see another paycheck on the 16th. This is exactly the same as the one above, and it's entered exactly the same. On the blank form on the line for the 16th, $790 goes in the income column. We again put in netted out of income in the tax column. Minus 15 goes in the insurance column. And minus 30 goes under investments. On the same day, there are 4 more transactions on the February transaction list. The first is $70 for giving. The second is $100 for Joe's car payment. The third is $50 for the automatic transfer to the savings account. And the fourth is $26.75 for the phone bill. Back on the blank form, we enter a minus 50 in the savings column, a minus 100 in the auto column, a minus $26.75 in the housing column, and a minus 70 under tithe giving. Once again, this presentation would be too long if kept in one part, so this will be the end of the first part of the presentation. The next part will pick up where this one leaves off.